What's going on, guys? This is Rob with the Razor's Edge. Thanks for joining. My name is Rob Pascal. I'm just preparing my caudicle real quick because one of my blades needs a quick touch-up. So I figured I'd make a little video. Just working myself up a little slurry here. Minimal pressure. This is my Boker Carbon Elite 3.0. It's one of the first razors I got. It's actually the razor I'm going to be shaving with today, and it really just needs a touch-up. So I'm basically going to drag this blade backwards a couple times for a couple backwards passes. And then I'm going to look at it under the microscope. When I hone my knives, I usually take a little longer than most probably, and it's because I'm constantly checking the progression of my edge while I'm doing things. And I also have to tape this spine, so I'm going to tape up this spine real quick. Okay. Now that I've taped my spine, I'm gonna spray my stone a little bit. Make sure it stays wet. And I'm just gonna do some forward X strokes, putting minimal pressure. I've already set the bevel on this blade. And I can already see my slurry turning gray. So I know it's cutting. I absolutely love this caudicle. This is a Belgian yellow on this side, and it's a dual natural stone that has a Belgian blue on the other side. And the Belgian blue, I would say, gives about a 3000 finish. And this side, I would say, gets you up to about an 8K finish. Some guys like to do it with one hand. I really like to feel what I'm doing personally because I'm a bit new to this, but I've gotten pretty proficient at getting these blades pretty sharp at this point with the hours that I've put in. So just giving this razor a couple of really light passes just to get that edge a little keener. And I will be switching to my Thuringian next. My progression currently is caudicle, Thuringian, and then I usually finish with my Arkansas or the stone that Sean Staplefeld gave me. It's a J-Nat, and it's just a beautiful little J-Nat. Sometimes I finish on that. So at some point I'll make a video with that one. I'm going to check my edge in the scope real quick. Yeah, just freshened up that edge. Any issues I was having in this edge are completely straight and flat at this point. So this very, very quick touch-up on a razor that I've already honed in, excuse me, it's good to go through the progression as needed, meaning if it takes longer to get that edge to where it looks like a nice clean edge, I'll stay on my cuticle longer until it's where I want it. But we are going to switch. We're going to switch out to my Thuringian. One side's marked because I pretty much only use one side on this particular stone. So, and you'll notice this bridge, by the way, which I thoroughly enjoy. I have a piece of that rubberized stuff you put in your cabinets, and it just seems to really help hold the stone in place. And I cut it just shy of my stone so that it's not in my way. I've already flattened these stones, but I'm going to wet this guy down and just double check them real quick. I personally have a 400 and a 1200 Atoma, so I usually pull out my 1200 and just lap the stone real quick. Good part about natural stones over synthetic stones, in my opinion, is that the synthetic stones, I notice you have to lap them and flatten them out a lot more. The natural stones, oh, that's the 400. The natural stones, once you get these things lapped, they tend to last. That flatness seems to last a lot longer. Now at this point, it's pretty much 2 hairs in air. I'm very, very lightly running this blade back and forth over this Thuringian. And this stone is a slate stone, and it's, if I'm being honest, it just feels soft as I glide across it. I don't know if you guys can hear that at all. Like I said before, personally, I like the two-hand approach. I can really feel what's going on. I can feel if the blade leaves the stone on one side or the other. But there's obviously guys out there that, you know, have no problem doing it with one hand. They've been doing it for years. I'm somewhat new to the hobby, but I dove in head first, and I kind of can't get enough of it. So. I call this 2 hairs in air. We're just very, very, very lightly just letting that blade pass over and making sure that I keep contact from heel to toe as I do my X strokes. And as you guys all know, we can do all kinds of, you know, different patterns if we want to achieve some of these results faster. But if you've ever done this, you'll find that those X patterns definitely have a certain rhythm to them that get it done correctly much better, in my opinion. So we're gonna rinse off. Like I said, this is just a touch-up. At this point with this stone, I'll pretty much just start using straight water. Once I've squeegeed all the water off of this blade, So I'll probably turn the faucet on and let it just slowly trickle onto the stone just to keep it wet. I've shaved with this thing since I first honed it, probably 6 or 7 times, and the stropping has kind of got me to where I needed to go, but it's definitely time for a touch-up. Last time I used it, it kind of, I don't want to say tore me up, but kind of tore me up a little. It is what it is, right? Alright, so I'm going to go grab a tomato if I can find one. We're gonna give it a tomato test and see what we got. It's cutting in, but not as easily as it should be. But it's still cutting in pretty easily, so I'm gonna keep doing some water passes here before I switch to my finish stone, which is my black Arkansas. It's a semi-translucent, which I've heard means that it's a blue-black Arkansas, but I need to look further into that. Until then, it's just a black Arkansas. I took one side of that stone and I burnished it last week or a couple weeks ago. And now I have to lap the other side so that I have a dull side and a burnished shiny side, because there's a grit difference in my opinion. Should be doing my passes like this. I've been kind of switching it up, going under or going over with the blade flip for each direction. Personally, when I do this, I'm going for a certain sound. I know what each razor, after I've honed it the first time, it's like I can hear, which we're close. I can hear when it kind of gets to the end of where I need to go with that particular stone before it's time to move on. Little telltale signs, let's call them. Yeah, see, now my undercut is getting fairly even here. That sounds pretty good. It feels pretty good. It's starting to give me a little bit of suction at the end of each pass. So now I'll check on the tomato one more time just to see if it made it just a little cleaner or keener, and go from there. Oh yeah. Nope. Right in the, yeah, it still needs a little bit more, a couple more passes. That's another thing, the stone tends to, when you do circles like this, it makes funny noises, kind of like chalk on a chalkboard. Same thing, just being super light on my touch. Not trying to kill this blade. which he's cutting into the tomato pretty easily for the most part, and that's not even a good tomato. See if I can find a better one in here. Here we go. That's a good one. So you can see now it's cutting in pretty effortlessly. There you go. That's better. I got a face cloth over here. I'm constantly wiping the blade. I like to keep it dry. I don't like the water or the soapy water or anything I use to start working its way towards the hinge of the blade. I don't like to get it all over my hand that's holding the blade. So I just try to be a bit anal about it. I'm gonna change over to my finish stone. So this is the box that my Arkansas came in, and as you can see I burnished this side, and it's just a beautiful stone. I love this thing. So what I like to do on this, there's no slurry or any of that stuff. This is just a finished stone, and this is why I say I want to flatten or lap the back of this stone. I don't know if you can see that water just beating off. But this is this side of this stone for me is just 100% finisher, and it's a really interesting feeling because it's a stone, yet it feels like you're just sheeting it across a piece of glass, which when I honed some of my other knives for you guys, especially my Philharmonica, the sounds that it makes on this stone are pretty interesting. Same thing, 2 hairs in air, just super light touch. I'm basically just squeegeeing off the edge of this blade constantly. And if you want, you can run a little bit of water. And I feel like running a little bit of water almost helps suction cup the blade down to the stone as you make a pass. And it kind of does the work for you. All you have to do is guide it and don't put any pressure. And I'm going to do something Sean told me to do, and I'm actually going to go backwards for a couple of passes. Oh my god, that feels totally different. That's like full squeegee. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. That's nuts. Yeah, you can see, right? But it's just completely squeegeeing off perfectly. So I do that just to help align the blade at the end, kind of like stropping, but on the stone. Just looking at it under the scope real quick just to see. Oh wow. Yeah, it looks like a pretty shiny edge. It's starting to polish on that stone. Yeah, so now just doing that, those few passes, I mean, it just cuts into that tomato, and I will be giving this an HHT. And for me, if it doesn't pass at least a 6 or a 7, which is ping, I'll come back to the stone and I'll keep going. But I figure this is a good introduction to me honing on some of the stones that I've purchased in the last few months. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining.